let's look at the list of topics that I have. Marcus Lombard support. Okay, I can talk about that. I kind of forgot in the last episode to mention that when I got Marcus, the chair, there was one thing wrong about the chair that I kind of discovered, that I kind of was warned about before I bought it, so I wasn't too shocked by that information. But the chair had an absolute awful lumbar support on it, where when I sat down, like, it was fine, but I felt like there was some spike in my back, constantly just applying force onto my back, which, if I'm just gonna sit on a chair, I'm not exactly gonna be thrilled about information like that. I would prefer for something to be just comfortable 100% of the time. So I kinda looked around if there's a possibility of removing it. I didn't really expect this to be a problem, but I think I discovered that you can remove it before even buying the chair. What's this? There's a note in alien language. My equipment should be safe here. I better get it back later. Okay, so I guess that's whose that item is. So I kinda knew about the problem with Lombard before even getting the chair, although I didn't really expect it to bother me at all. But I also didn't expect the Lombard support to be a knife in your back, basically. So the first, like, 2 hours after getting the chair, I kinda removed the Lombard support, because, oh my god, it was so uncomfortable, man. And the chair after that became so much better, man. So if anyone is interested in buying that chair, and you kind of find it not comfortable at all, that's 100% reasonable, and try to remove that Lombard support, like, goddamn, man. Lombard support is basically the black thing behind the nets in the back of the chair. If you feel like that's a problem, just remove that thing, like, please. It's seriously not a good thing in the chair. Okay, what did we get here? This looks more like an ultimate from the damage, but I guess... Invincibility 0-3? What? Sweeping lightning. Focuses energy and strikes the surrounding area. Oh, like that, okay. That explains why it would give you invincibility then. Although it seems kinda useless. Oh, this can be combined with the shotgun. Wasn't there another item that could be combined? Okay, never mind. So let's go to another topic. Linear switches. Oh, right. The untold story behind these switches. Let's go back to them. I was talking about the switches and the fact that there were 3 choices that I had, which was the Pegasus Gamma K, the Griffin Gamma K, and the Phoenix Gamma K. And I've decided to choose the Phoenix one, although I didn't really explain why. Because from my first reaction, the best one seemed to be the Pegasus, because it was the quietest one. But before buying the switches, I was kinda like, okay, let's look at the differences between these switches. I discovered that the Griffin and Pegasus switches were something. I think Impact, I would assume it was called. And the Phoenix was the linear type of switch. So it's kinda like, okay, what's the difference though? I kind of don't really know too much about switches in that manner. Which one would be the best for playing games? Which is basically the most important aspect, I would assume. So I think the Impact switches are like, when you press them, you need to use more force just to activate them. But after the initial, like, resistance of the switch, of pressing the button, it's way easier to press after that. Meanwhile, with the linear switches, it's more that it stays the same amount of force throughout the whole switch. So it's always gonna be the same amount of force needed to either start pressing the switch or get to the bottom of it. Which kind of sounded neat, and I kinda understand why it's best for if you want to play games, because it's kind of not ideal for you to have resistance from your switches. It's best to just be able to easily press them, and you're not really gonna be moving your hands too much when playing games, so, you know, makes sense. And I was really surprised by the linear switches, because I've read that there's, like, I don't know, 30 grams of force needed to move the switches, which I didn't really know what does that mean. But when I got the keyboard and I kind of moved around the switches and I just pressed the keyboard, I was just shocked by how easy it is to press the actual buttons on it. Like, when my PC got back and it was fixed, I just by accident most of the time just was pressing random buttons. And even now, it's so easy for me to like hold the space bar or something else and not to even realize it. So yeah, that's such a small quirk about the keyboard and the switches in it, but it's actually really cool. And I didn't expect to have an experience like that. But yeah, topic after that is gonna be... what's a finger grip? Right. I did talk about the grip styles of mice before, but I never really explained what that is or what those even are. So let's start with how I discovered which grip style I have, because I was kinda searching for a mouse when I didn't have a PC, so it was kinda difficult for me to know how I would hold it, right? And I've always thought that I have the, like, claw grip style, I think it's called, where you basically have your fingers, like, bent all the way, basically, when holding your mouse. And I always thought I had that, but then I kinda tried to hold my mouse in the grip style of that, and I was like, okay, that doesn't seem right. That isn't the grip style I have. So when searching for a mouse, I was obviously looking at the Insomniac mouse he had, and he said that, or he wrote there, that he was using the finger grip style, and my first reaction to that was like, huh? So I kinda looked around at the different grip styles, and I discovered that there's like one, which is basically using a mouse like you're supposed to use a mouse, which just plaster your hand on the mouse, that's it. The other grip style is claw grip style, which is basically have your fingers bent all the way. And then there's the third one, which is a finger grip style, which is basically you kind of don't have your hand around the mouse, you only use your fingers to move the mouse around. And I kind of had the finger grip style because my previous mouse was so big. My fingers are used to having that shape, so when I'm using anything else, I'm just kinda sticking with that, position I had my fingers previously. And everywhere other than that mouse is just basically a finger grip style. So yeah, that's how I discovered what grip style I have and what it even is. And I think that explains a lot of it. I would assume that the most common one was like the basic one, where you just use a mouse like you want to use a mouse. But okay, another topic, pop filter. Right. Let me just read this so I can move forward. Interesting, some data seem to imply that aliens had ulterior motives. Okay, that's interesting that it's shown here because, yeah, that's the whole point of the story actually. So, let's go back to the pop filter. In the last episode I explained that... or last recording I guess, because I'm assuming it's not gonna be the last episode. I said that I have a microphone and that I never really changed it or anything about it, but that's not entirely the case. At the start when I had this microphone, I realized that it kind of has some problems with it, and that some sounds just kind of explode in it. So I've bought a pop filter from an aftermarket, and it's working perfectly so far. And since adding the pop filter, it just kind of made me sound way better, I feel like. Or at least the elements that are bad sound less bad, or just removes them completely. Because pop filter basically removes like some of the sounds, like let's say you say p, you just kind of explode air. So that just burst of air into the microphone can sound not the best. So the pop filter is kind of there to stop the air and make you sound more reasonable. And after buying it, I was kind of surprised by how good it was sounding, and I'm really happy with that purchase, although it was a long time ago. So yeah, my story about pop filter and how I actually did buy something else for my microphone over time. Story with switching the switches. Oh fuck no. Oh, not this story. Okay, this story is gonna be horrifying. Because, okay, no matter how professional and just knowledgeable I want myself to sound on the topic of, like, the switches, the, like, keyboards and other stuff, in reality I'm just a monkey with a wrench, to be honest. So, when I was first time switching my switches, I was kind of surprised by how much effort and force it requires to just switch them and pull them off. So it's kind of like, what the fuck? This doesn't seem intentional at all. And I've switched all the like F keys and the buttons above the arrows. And then I discovered that I was pulling them off in the wrong way. Because one way you can just rip them out. But on the other side, there is this like lever or like, I don't know how to call it. This little thing that latches on the switch to the keyboard. And I was like, holy fuck, I'm dumb. I did all these switches and I never thought, maybe I should move it 90 degrees and try to pull it from the other side. And it was kinda embarrassing to discover that after all the switches I pulled out. But thank God nothing broke. I didn't destroy anything by accident. So that's actually a good thing, because I discovered first, the switches have a latch that makes them stick to the keyboard, so they're not gonna just pop out, because that was kind of one of my concerns with a hot swappable keyboard, because I would assume that the problem with the hot swappable keyboard would be that the switches are easy to put in, but they can also easily just pop out. But discovering that there's a latch between was a good feeling, and was also a bad feeling that I was kinda destroying them by accident. I was also happy with how just resilient the switches were, that I didn't break anything by accident, which was kind of a miracle, I guess, with how much force I needed to use. So yeah, that was the story with the switches. It was kind of embarrassing. Okay, what's the next topic? Mousepad makes mouse quiet. Thank you, previous Need Healer, for writing that down instead of pop filter. Try to guess what I mean. Okay, so one of the things that I didn't really think about with a mousepad is that it's gonna make the mouse on the mousepad way more quiet, because when you try to move around a mouse on the wood, it's gonna just slam into it all the time. But if you move around on the mousepad, then how it's gonna sound? Like nothing. It's just plastic on top of a soft material, so it's just gonna sound way more quiet. And that was one of the things that made me like, okay, I don't know how I feel about the mousepad, but I'm really happy that I got it anyway, because of that fact. So that was a bit of a happy coincidence, before trying to delve into the quiet mice, because my other one was way too loud. And another topic is Shure SM7B, I already talked about that. Changing volume on speakers. Oh, right. One thing that made me just kinda fall in love with the speakers, other than listening to the music, was the fact that there is just a volume control on like the front of the speakers. When on the previous speakers I had it on the cable, and the problem was that I had the speakers in the back, so using the cable was kinda impossible to switch the sound. You know, with these little buggers having the knob on top of them, this makes it so nice, man. Being able to easily just switch around the sound. And the switching sound is also useful because when playing Genshin Impact, I kinda was like, okay, boss fights are gonna be loud as fuck. Video is gonna be way too quiet. What do I do? Meanwhile, now I can kinda have the same volume in Genshin all the time, so it sounds good on my headphones and my speaker. So I can always just make the videos louder, speakers quieter if I don't want to listen to the game. Or if I want to listen to the game, for some reason I want to do that on the speakers, I can always make the videos quieter and the speakers louder. And that's such a small detail, but man, made me fall in love with these little things. Because it's so nice to have that ability just to switch things around when you want to. Oh wait, I'm kinda interested in how this is gonna work, because it's kinda weak. Okay, it really freezes the enemy. Nice. So yeah, the small quality of life of having the volume knob on the front of the speakers, absolute lifesaver, man. Damn, we're going through these topics faster than ever. Next topic, DaVinci license story. Oh god, seriously? This story right now? Fine. Okay. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna be able to 100% remember the whole story, so if I miss some facts, I'm sorry about that, but it happened literally 1 year ago. So, when I got my PC for the first time, the new one, I was kind of like... Okay, what is this? Lightning shoes. Shoes gifted with the power of lightning. Swiftly strike the surrounding area after a successful dodge. So when I got my PC back, I was kinda just a little bit bummed out by how just kinda... It was way better to edit than my previous computer, but I imagine it'd be even better than that. So I was kinda like, oh man, I hope it would be a bit better, man. So I was considering buying the full version of DaVinci Resolve, which is my editing software. And the reason behind that is that the free version is perfectly fine. It's perfect, man. It's really useful if you wanna just edit. But the free version has a problem that it only uses your, what's called, CPU to edit the videos and to use the software. And the full version allows you to also use the GPU of your PC. So I was kinda considering buying that because of that. And the thing about DaVinci Resolve that's absolutely great compared to something like Adobe Premiere, I think the other editing program is called. With DaVinci Resolve, you buy the full version once and you're gonna have it forever. No matter how many versions it has new, no matter how big of a revolution it goes through, you're always gonna be stuck with the full version of it, which is such a nice deal. Meanwhile, with the Adobe, it is cheaper to buy it, but it's a subscription and you're gonna have to buy it every month or, I don't know, every couple months. So after like 10 months or even longer, it's just gonna be way more expensive than just buying DaVinci Resolve once. And I already was using the program for, well, a year at that point. So I was willing to pay for it, and it's, I don't know, I think like 1000 PLN, so it's not cheap. It's not good to just spend that amount of money, but you know, editing is a big part of me, and I spend a lot of hours every day on it, so saving a bit of time is a huge deal in there. Hey yo. So now, wait, what the fuck? He can drop that? What? Didn't we kill this boss like legit 20 times by this point? Huh? I've never seen him drop that. Well, alright. What was I talking about? I mean, I know I was talking about the full version. Oh, yeah. And you know, while paying a lot for the full version seems like a big deal, the thing that made it seem more reasonable for me was the fact that, yeah, sure, I'm gonna be paying a lot, but how much time is it gonna save me over the, like, years I'm gonna be working? How much time do I waste just having laggy software right now? So it would save me a lot of time in the long game. So the purchase of, like, yeah, it was expensive, but it was reasonable because, yeah, it would save me hours of time after not even like 10 episodes or even maybe 2. So it kind of, it sounded like a good deal. So I decided to do it. And now is gonna be the story of how it went to buy that thing. Let me just lean back a bit in my chair with my boom arm. So the first thing that I tried to do with the DaVinci Resolve is that I wanted to buy it from the, well, official people that are there. You know, the company behind the program. It seemed reasonable to do. So I tried to do that, and I discovered that when trying to purchase the thing, for some reason, after some time, I got a message like, your bank blocked the purchase or something like that. A similar kind of wording. So I was like, okay, that seems weird. But okay, I'm kind of trying to buy this at a late hour. Maybe I'm gonna try again tomorrow. So the next day I'm Ayo? Naginata. An oddly shaped spear that is way better at slicing than piercing. Okay. Okay, it's kinda bad. So no. The next day I'm like, okay, let's try again. And nothing changed. I still couldn't buy the item. So I was like, okay, that's a bummer. Kinda weird that I cannot do that. But you know what? Sure, I'm gonna call my bank. Maybe they're gonna give me a more reasonable answer by on why I cannot buy this thing, okay? So I'm trying to call my bank with 24/7 support, okay? That's an important fact. So I'm calling there. No answer. And I'm like, 24/7 support. No answer. What? How is that? Huh? That doesn't even make sense. And after that, I'm like, okay, cool. Even a 24/7 freaking hotline doesn't wanna, answer me. Sick. So I'm trying to like, okay, maybe there's another place I can buy this item. Maybe there's a place that I can just not use my credit card, but I can just transfer the money from my bank to the other bank. So I try to look at something like that, and I discover, oh, there are associates with the company that are from different countries. So I'm like, okay, hell yeah. And I discovered, oh, there's a company that associates in the Poland, and there are quite a lot of them actually. So I'm like, okay, sweet, sweet. I think I'm gonna be able to get the program right now. Thank you, thank you. So I'm like, okay, let's go. And first thing I do is check out the prices. If like one company is gonna be like way more expensive than the other. So I'm checking all the Polish ones and I'm like, okay, this one is the cheapest. Let's go. But then there's a choice. Get the like digital code or get a USB dongle. And I'm like, what the fuck is that dongle? So I'm kind of searching around on the internet like, what's up with that? What's a better choice in this manner? And the thing that I seen there is that if you buy the digital code, it's like 3 codes and you can use them on different PCs, but you cannot use different PCs at the same time. So I'm kind of reading that and I'm like, okay, that sounds like pure voodoo magic. What's the other choice? PC dongle is basically just a USB stick that you just put into your PC and it's just gonna make the DaVinci Resolve have the full version because there's like, I don't know, some part of the dongle that has something on it that allows you to just use it. So I'm kind of looking at the positives and the negatives of this thing, and I'm just discovering that the positives, you can just stick it into your PC and it's gonna be fine, nothing to fiddle around with. Meanwhile, the negatives is that if you move around often, it's kinda easy to just lose it over time. So I'm kinda looking at that and I'm like, okay, the digital code sounds like pure voodoo, meanwhile the dongle sounds like something I would actually want to use because I never move around, so the chances of me just losing it randomly, not really a thing that I would worry about. So I'm like, okay, let's look at the choices that I have again and let's buy the one I want to use. So I look at the digital code and I discover that there's like 3 days of delivery. And I'm not willing to buy that, but I'm like, how the fuck is there delivery on a digital code? Weird. So okay, let's go with the dongle. So I'm looking at the dongle, I look at the price, one tear just streaming down from my face, and I complete the purchase, I make a move to my house, I just pay for it, and I'm like, okay, fuck yeah. I'm gonna have the full version, it's gonna be so much faster, I'm gonna be able to use my, what's called, my GPU to its full extent. Oh man, it's gonna be sweet. And I was so freaking excited, man. So I'm waiting a week, nothing comes. I'm like, weird, it's just one small USB stick. Where is it? So I'm kind of looking at the site and like, those are the people associated with the company behind DaVinci Resolve, okay. Maybe it's just gonna take longer? Maybe? I mean, they sell like really expensive items, like cameras for tens of thousands of PLN. Like, there's just no way that they can just miss one item that's worth 1000 PLN. It's just not reasonable. Okay, maybe they're just gonna take their sweet time. I'm willing to wait. Another week passes. It's winter. I'm not feeling well. I'm like kinda, because this is all happening in like January when there was fucking snow all over. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, where the fuck is this dongle? I look at my email, no mentions of it. Weird. Shouldn't it just kinda come at some point, I would assume? So I'm just kinda confused there. And after a lot of nerves, I was like, okay, maybe I'm gonna call them. So I call them and I'm like, hey, I bought this item. I paid for it. I still don't have it, man. I kinda want it though. And the person on the call is, oh, I don't see the, like, I don't know, the idea of the purchase or something. But, oh, wait, oh no, wait, I see it, okay. I'm gonna tell the people to, that need to know about this, and you should get your item. So I'm like, okay, thank you. After a week, I'm like, where the fuck is this dongle, man? Where? I'm waiting for it. How? 3 weeks? What? It's just a small freaking USB stick. How long can it take? So I call again and I'm like, yo, I called like a week ago. It was supposed to come to me. I don't have it, bro. Like, I still don't have it. So they're like, okay, I don't see the idea of the thing. So I'm like, how? I literally paid for it. And they're like, okay, we're gonna speak with the people behind all the like purchases and stuff like that and see if we can fix this problem. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of what happened like a week ago to me, so I'm sure hoping that it's just gonna be resolved this time. So I'm just kind of sitting there, not really feeling well. What the fuck is this? Wait, I can move my camera? I didn't even know. This game is full of mystery. Oh, and money. Okay, let me just move around here first, because I never seen this zone before. What the heck is this? This feels like it should be a puzzle, but it's not. Strange. Such a cool detail, though. Why did they put so much effort into this location if this mechanic is never reused or not even relevant here? So strange. But yeah, another like week passes and I'm like, what the fuck is this USB stick? I paid 1000 PLN and I don't know if it's like 1600 or something around that. And I'm like, what the fuck happened to this USB stick? I literally paid for it. I'm getting gray hair from it. And I'm legit scared at that point, like, did the money just fucking disappear? Like, yeah, we got 1000 PLN. We don't have your USB stick though. And like, what the fuck is going on, man? I'm just kinda using my shovel on the road. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And after some time, I think I either called again or it finally came. But let's say I called again. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I don't want to sound like a drama queen, but what the fuck is going on? This isn't really something small for one person to just lose 1000 PLN. Like, sure, if I was a company, maybe. But for me, fuck no, man. I want that money. And I know, someone finally did something. It finally came to me. And I was so fucking relieved. Like, I wasn't even happy that I got the item. I was just happy that I was done with this bullshit, man. Because it was fucking horrifying just to lose 1000 PLN. And it just fucking disappeared forever. There's just no mention of it anywhere. But after I got the dongle and I started using it, I was kind of surprised by the fact that the editing software was still kind of relatively the same speed, I would say. So, I mean, it was way better, okay? Let me just say, when I was just the process of what is called rendering my videos, holy fuck, that is like 10 times faster. Before it took me like half an hour for a full video to just come in, but now it's just like 5 minutes. I got you, bro. Done. And it's so fucking cool. That one aspect I can say 100% worth it. Because any part of the editing software that you can just reduce the time of it taking is just gonna be a relief for you, let's be honest. Okay, let's craft this little holonade. Hologram technology used to fool enemies into getting close to a trap. Okay. That looks kinda interesting. Just fucking needs it. Wait, did it just explode? I thought it's gonna stay on the ground and just gonna pull enemies. Alright. So yeah, that was the story of how I got my DaVinci Resolve full version. And I'll be honest, even after a year, I'm just fucking shook. Because it's so fucking insane to me. This company that sells and moves like cameras, microphones, worth tens of thousands of PLN, and it just couldn't bring me one item. I just find it mental, man. What freak accident happened that this happened? This whole situation happened. Like it's... I wanted to make a whole video about this topic because I was so... At the time, I was just... It was insane to me that something like that happened. Especially over something that I was so excited to get. Oh god, now that I think... Fucking please don't happen something like this again with my microphone or on the interface or the cable. Oh fuck, man, I don't want that to happen. Not again. That would be awful. But yeah, I'm gonna just skip some topics on the phone right now, because I want to talk about something else. But even with the full version, despite it being kinda fucking sweet, it was still kind of... I don't know, the actual process of like watching my videos was kinda slow, which was kind of a surprise for me. So I was kinda wondering how to fix that, and when my PC broke down, I kinda thought about it, and I was like, okay, what if I used SSD instead of my HDD for the video editing, because video files weigh a lot. So maybe it's just too slow for it to just work reasonably, and I might show the effect on the screen, but like... What's boppin' my poppin', it's ya boy, Future Need Healer here, and today I'm gonna be showing you what I was talking about here. I wanted to originally just make it a little like thing on the screen that shows how long it takes to load the actual videos, but I've realized that it's not really possible, because some things I got changed in the DaVinci, I guess. So I'm gonna be doing it by showing you myself, and I'm gonna explain what's the problem here, okay? Because the problem before was that when I turn on a video, it would just take forever for it to even load. Well, now the problem isn't that, so let me go into like the coma, one of the videos that are fully made by on the HDD. So I think the first parts were done like that. Okay, it loads in. Takes a little while. Stuck at 85%, that's fine. Wait, why is it actually not loading in quicker? Okay, that's actually kind of... Oh no, is this gonna crash? Okay, never mind. Okay, so we're here, okay? Look at my mess. Can you see my, like, mouse? Oh, you can see. Okay, great. So, let's go into a random space and listen to it. Oh, I don't need... Okay, it worked. Oh god, this is the... V audio. Wait. Go to here. Almost crashes. Okay, never mind.
Nobody's...
Wait, it's actually working. What the heck? What the heck? Hey, yo? It took a while to load, but like, it's actually working. I'm shocked. Because normally it would just kind of stagger. I'm gonna show it with the dust example, because it's like the peak of how not to control your videos in a program like this. Okay, let's go into a newer episode. Is this an episode that already released? I think so. Okay, so this should be... You can see, instantly loaded in.
It's locked too.
Works perfectly. Works perfectly.
I can hide here.
Works perfectly. Still works perfectly. Like, it took a second for it to load everything, and I was sure that it's gonna work. You know, with this one, it was kind of like, is it gonna work? Will it crash? So let's go back into, like, where is it? Where is some finish and released? Dust. Dust is a pinnacle of, this is a shit show. Okay, let me press on a random moment. I press space, so it should start. Any day now. Because, I mean, it would take me a while to find, but how much is dust actually? Like in this one file? 120 gigabytes! So yeah, my hard disk drive needs to go through the 120 gigabytes, because I've, like a dumbass, saved everything in this one project. This is not how you... Oh, episode 1 to 10, what? Nah, this is gonna crash 100%. Episode 1 to 10 in one timeline. Am I a psychopath?
Sorry, was I a psychopath? That is actually insane. No one should edit like this. Why did I do that? Oh my god, it crashes. Brak odpowiedzi. It's not answering. It wants to fucking die. If I had to work on a project like this again, I would do that too. Holy. And you see, I had to work with this. For how long was Dust? 14 episodes. So like 7 to 14 weeks of me working. And imagine going to home, wanting to be like, okay, let me work on a project. And this happens. And you need to wait for like 5 minutes for you to even be able to start your work. And it's not even that. After the 5 minutes, there's still gonna be problems because it's gonna be lagging. Oh, episode 1 to 10? Oh god. 7 hours! What? What? No, that must be a prank, no. 9 hours! What did I do here? What? Does it work though? It doesn't. I press space.
Sweet.
Oh, it works, okay. Let me move like...
Go.
Oh, it actually works fine. So, I think that after some time, after I switched from the free version to the full version, and then from... Well, a lot of things happened between. Like, me buying a better PC, then me going to having a full version, so that also works. Then some updates happened where at the start I think I'm not quite sure which version I was using of DaVinci Resolve when Dust released, or at least the Dust I was making videos of. It was either like late version 17 or early version 18. And the problem with an early version 18 could have been that it's more unstable and there are some problems that still need to be worked. Because right now, I think the version is like 18.6. Because there was a big jump from 18 to 18.5. And then from 18.5 to 18.6. So there was a lot of moments where this program could have been just improved by the fact that it got, well, made better, optimized better. Because there was a lot of experimental features. So there is a possibility that a lot of the things that I was just having problems with my hard disk were just fixed by the program being better right now. But if I had to go back and could show how absurd it was, because you could have seen, like 120 gigabytes, that is dumb. No one should make one project that has that much data in it. But it made this unbearable, and editing this was such a pain. So yeah, I just switched to the like SSD. Let me go. I guess you won't see this video ever, so I can show it. Now I can go here. Okay, it's kind of lagging, but like... It's kind of lagging, hello? Yeah, it's kind of going fine. Come on. I can go slowly go here, go here. I can't wait to tell Strong Terry about all about this. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, there is some lag because there is one footage over the other. But overall, it's usable. When I watch this, I am like, okay, I know what's going on. So it's really fun. So yeah, that was the like thing that was supposed to take like 1 second on the screen to show the example, but I had to record this because I cannot imagine just not being able to explain it and just try to explain it in like 3 words on screen and this like one clip. So yeah, that's it for that. SSD good. HDD kinda sucks balls, especially if you record, especially if you edit like past me with everything done in one file. You know what? Actually, now that I'm here, finished until released, let's look at, I don't know. No. What series did I make that are like longer and, I don't think there's not gonna, oh man, no. I remember, right. I cannot show like older fun stuff. Because I did upgrade my PC. Wait, long live the Queen. Dang it. Need healer from the past. Why were you actually responsible this time? Okay. But yeah, I cannot show like old, maybe metal unit, which would be as absurd as Dust. Because back then I just kinda didn't want to start new projects left and right. You know, right now I can just automate that process, which I'm gonna talk about in a future video. Spoiler alert. But in this one, I'm not gonna talk about it, because the next topic is... Okay, I will... you know what? I'm gonna see what where am I right now in this video? Just to see how I'm supposed to end this fragment.
On the screen, but like, it's night and day. Before it took...
Yeah, the difference between SSD and HD cannot even compare. So yeah, back to you, Past Need Healer. You got this.
It's night and day. Before it took me like 5 minutes for a project to even open up. And if I went fucking bananas on a project like with the Dust and an Elysian Tail, it took even longer. I wouldn't be surprised if it just took 20 minutes and it just could crash my editing software. But yeah, that was a fun discovery. Now that I discovered that, I just opening the editing software, I'm like, okay, I want to work on this project. Bam, instantly opens up and I'm like, okay, I can work with this, because the difference between that and waiting for like 5 minutes is pretty big, man. Okay, next topic. Genshin Impact. Metal Unit, where is it? Oh, I was looking in the favorite games. Forgot that it's not my favorite game. Right, guess should have known that.
Broken.